right, man. Shaun P. We are back again. On what episode is this, man? We need somebody in the back to be a producer.
I know.
What episode are we on? So it is I, Farmer Poe, my man Shaun P, and we got a special guest in the building today.
We do.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. Honestly, when y'all reached out and asked, I was like, any excuse to get me back in Sacramento and kind of like be in the community yet again. I'm so happy to be a part of it. So
well, we appreciate you being here. Glad to have you.
Definitely appreciate your time.
Yeah, we definitely got a few topics that we want to talk about. Yeah. So just before we do that, tell us a little bit about, tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'd love to. So my name is Espi. I'm 25 years old. I'm a content creator and entrepreneur. My sole focus in my content and my purpose, I would say, online would be to spread awareness around body image as well as curve content. I do some beauty, I do some fashion, I do some lifestyle, but I also do some interview content where I go around the community, whether it's Stockton, whether it's Sacramento, anywhere, truly, whenever I travel. I kind of go out and ask questions about body image, and a lot of them could be a lot of the times really, really uncomfortable, but I truly feel like the most value comes from the most uncomfortable conversations.
Correct.
So like the more maybe uneasy we feel when we're talking and like communicating with others, I feel like a lot of purpose and a lot of like value from that conversation can come about. So that's a little bit about what I do.
Yeah, no, definitely. Uncomfortable conversations are important because, a lot of times we will tend to agree with those who are within our group. So having the ability to be comfortable enough to have uncomfortable conversations will allow people to have these differing opinions about whatever the subject matter is.
For sure.
So it kind of pushes the conversation forward. So
exactly. I feel like you articulated that really well because at the end of the day, it's about people. It's about the community. It's about really togetherness at the end of the day to be able to, not only make our lives better individually, but also as a collective. Yeah. And I think that's something that I've always been a proponent of, Pickyapoison's always been a proponent of, as well as Farmer Poe. And that's a really huge reason on, why we wanted to have you on the show as well, too, because the inclusivity and the community and what you bring about and the topics that you've discussed in your content, I feel like really does make a difference and really has folks honestly thinking about, kind of different topics and, how life is, for a lot of different people. So
and being comfortable in your skin, not being afraid to be different or be who you are, even if you are the same as other people. Just being comfortable in your skin, it's allowing people to see other people be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So if you see people having the confidence to speak about these types of things or whatever it is that they are into, or whoever they are, there's somebody else out there that is experiencing the same thing or has the same mind frame.
Yep.
They just need somebody else to be like, oh, okay, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
Nah, facts. That's what happens in fashion, honestly, a lot of times. Like, people tell me all the time, like, man, Shaun P, look, I can't pull that off. I'm like, but look, you can. I'm my own person. I pull it off in a different way. You can do that as well. It's really the confidence within yourself, and whatnot. And I feel like even you can speak to that, just from different communities and when you've had different conversations with folks as well. I'm sure you hear some, some crazy answers, a lot of times stuff like that, but they're their own opinions.
Yes.
You allow those folks that you run into to have their own opinions, regardless if you agree or disagree. You know what I mean?
No, totally, 100%. That's what I've kind of like learned, and why I love your guys' content too, is that I think I'm such a sucker, and I know so many people also are, of like debate content. Of course, I feel like there's like a line, right? But I think, to approach life kind of being like super, to take it so ultra serious, I think at the end of the day what's super important is having an open mind and being so like transparent, but at the same time allowing people to kind of speak their mind. So when someone's like talking to me and maybe they're like a little bit disrespectful or whatnot, like I have learned, it took me a long time, but I have learned to like gain this confidence within myself where at the end of the day, whatever words that they're kind of spewing out, even if they're a little bit spiteful or hateful, it's like, it's not going to define me. It's not going to make me feel any different about myself. And then on your topic of like self-talk, I think that's something I had to learn a lot too, is like, I think it's important to kind of talk to yourself as if you're talking to your own best friend. And that took a while for me to do, but I
see, a lot of people might find it crazy. I'll be walking around this house talking in different voices. Like,
I'll
have a conversation with a person and I'll be like, I'll say it in my voice and then I'll respond to myself out loud talking like I'm them. Like, so I feel that. But no, it's dope that what you do, because again, a lot of people are not comfortable being themselves. So what people will tend to do is they'll just follow the status quo. And so they are doing things that they're not necessarily tied to themselves.
Intrinsically.
But it just, I'll blend in with the crowd. So I'm not comfortable being a skinny ass black guy, right? Some people might not be comfortable wearing shorts or certain things to show their little chicken legs. Like, but, you know what I'm saying, having that confidence to be like, I just love myself.
Yeah.
And it's okay, you know what I'm saying? I want to be able to express who I am without worrying about what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, and we all have our insecurities. Like, even me, like, I feel like I'm so much more of a confident person compared to how I was, like, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But even me, like, I have my days where I'm feeling extra insecure, maybe, like, about my arms.
Yeah.
But then I have a day where I'm like, no, I love my arms. Like, I think I look really good. I think I look really sexy in this top.
Yeah.
But then it's, like, it's kind of learning that self-love and, like, loving yourself really is a journey that's, like, a little bit up and down. And it shouldn't be something that there's not, like, an end-all, be-all, like, end of the day, I love myself. It's like, we're going to have days where it's a little bit rocky. We're going to have days where it's, like, a little bit better. And then we're going to have the days like, no, I feel 100% good about myself. I feel so sexy. I feel so nice. And then we're going to have our days where we're like, you know what? Today is not really but that's life.
That's honestly important to really tell the people too, is life is less linear than what people really imagine even growing up. You know, there's a lot of different troughs and valleys. I mean, really, that people go through. There's a lot of different hardships and adversity that you go into, and then there's days that are really positive and uber confident. You know, so I think that's really important for people to truly understand and look in themselves. You know, there's going to be days where you don't feel as confident about your body. There's going to be other days where you feel extremely confident about your body, and just accepting that and embracing that you're going to have good days and bad days.
Yeah.
And it took me, like, finally accepting that too. I feel like, even though I have my days where maybe I'm not feeling so good about myself, but I feel kind of like there's progress, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters. Yeah.
Great.